So guys, in the last lecture we discussed about the property that is pressure. In this lecture we'll discuss about the temperature. So जब भी हम टेम्परेचर के बारे में सोचते हैं तो डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं से हीट ऑटोमेटिकली इंक्लूड हो जाती है. लाइक if I'm asking you how can you define the temperature, so most of all you are simply saying that it is the potential due to which the heat will transfer. So directly or indirectly, when we are talking about temperature, the heat is always involved. But I will simply tell you that is heat and temperature are entirely two different concepts. And that's why we need, that is how they both are going to be different from each other. Okay, so first let's try to understand few things about the heat and temperature. Okay, then we carry on. So let's suppose if I'm saying there is a container here. Okay, that I'm saying this is container A. Okay, there is also one container here. There is container B. The size of the container is same. This is container B. Let both the container carrying water. दोनों में water हमारे पास में. But in this one, let this is fill up to this point, and this is fill up to this point. Means the quantity of water is different. Now, if I put the thermometer in both the container, here and here, like this one. So in this case, if I try to measure the temperature of these two, so let's suppose I'm saying the temperature of container A is exactly equal to the temperature of container B. Okay, this is possible. There is not a big deal in this case. हो सकता है both the container at the room temperature level. Okay, दोनों आपके room temperature पे हो. So in that case, you can say yes, both the container will have the same temperature TATB. What about the heat? Okay, अगर मैं पूछूं आपसे, what is the amount of heat in container A and B? So first of all, the question is wrong. That is, you can't ask there is amount of heat in the fluid or in the object because heat is not in storage. Okay, heat is that energy that is not possible in storage. Heat is only transient. Means you can say the heat is the mode of energy transfer and it is always transient. Okay, आप स्टोरेज की बात नहीं कर सकते कि कितना आपके पास में फिलअप है, कि इसमें हीट कितनी है, इसमें हीट कितनी है. देयर इज नो सेंस. सो यू विल नेवर टॉक अबाउट लाइक दिस वन. आप कभी भी ऐसे बात नहीं करेंगे कि इसमें कितनी हीट स्टोर है. ओके, हीट कांट बी स्टोर्ड. ओके, सेकंड थिंग, इफ आई आस्क यू, लेट मैं कुछ अलग पूछता हूं आपसे. लेट आई वांट टू इंक्रीज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ दीज टू कंटेनर बाय एन अमाउंट डेल्टा टी. Okay, I want to increase of both the fluid, both the waters here by same amount delta T. So in which case the heat requirement is more? Now the question is correct. Okay, in which case the heat requirement will be more? So ये बड़ा obvious question है और बड़ा obvious answer. आप सब लोग बोल देंगे कि yes, obvious in case of container A, as the amount of fluid is more, the requirement of heat will be more to increase the temperature delta T compared to the container B, because here the amount of fluid is less, so we require less heat to increase the temperature by an amount delta T. Obviously in this case you can say there is a delta Q. Let's suppose if I am heating these two, okay, if I am heating these two, okay, then you can say there is delta H for A definitely greater than the delta H of B to increase the same temperature of both container by an amount delta T. Okay, so in this case, why the requirement of heat is more in case of A? ऐसा हुआ क्या कि जो requirement है वो A में ज़्यादा होगी. So you can say here as the mass is more, in that case obviously we require more heat. Okay, जब आपका जो mass ज़्यादा है तो आपको heat की requirement ज़्यादा होगी to increase the same temperature. Okay, quite obvious because the number of molecules are more, so we have to increase the kinetic energy of each particle. हमें हर एक पार्टिकल की kinetic energy को increase करना होगा. As here the number of particles involved are more, then the requirement of heat is more. Okay, so means in this case you can say नाउ अब जो मैंने पहला क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि देयर इज व्हाट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ हीट इन द कंटेनर, ओके, तो मैंने बोला कि नो यू कांट आस्क दैट क्वेश्चन, बट नाउ अब आप ये सोचते हैं दैट इज हियर द एनर्जी अवेलेबल. नाउ आई एम नॉट यूजिंग द वर्ड हीट, आई एम सेइंग द हियर द energy available. I am talking about this case, that is when the temperature is equal, that is Ta equals to Tb. We are not talking about this one. So initial case I am talking about. So I am saying here in the container A, the energy is more available, or more energy is available to the fluid A to compare to the fluid B here. Okay, because the particles are more. Okay, so यहाँ पे आपके पास में एनर्जी ज्यादा है, यहाँ पे कम है. It is true? ऐसा हो सकता है? No. ठीक है, ऐसा भी नहीं आपके पास में यहाँ पे एनर्जी ज्यादा है. Because we are talking about temperature, so this is very confusing thing here. So ये समझ के ध्यान रखना आपके पास में. We can't talk about like this one, कि हम ऐसे बात नहीं कर सकते आपके पास में. So means temperature is very different thing and heat is very different thing. Okay, let's take one more example. Let's suppose again I'm taking two containers. Okay, same container size, and now let the amount of fluid is also same, and fluid is also same. Okay, now that I'm saying this is the container 1, this is container 2 here. Here the thermometer reads the value, let's say I'm saying T1. Here this reads T2. But I'm saying that is T2 is more than T1. I'm saying T2 is more than T1. Even though the fluid is same, even though the amount is same, but I'm saying that T2 is more than T1. अब T2 की वैल्यू ज्यादा है. It means what? Okay, क्या लगता है आपके पास में? That is heat supplied to both. That is 1 and 2 are same? No, obviously. In this case, the heat supplied in case of 2 was more, even though the mass is same. Okay, so in this case, the mass is same. The requirement of heat supplied to this one will be more to reach the temperature T2 here. And in this case, as the amount is different, and we have to increase the same temperature, so amount of heat required to increase the same temperature will be more in case of A. Okay, let's take one more example. Let's suppose if I am saying there is a steel block here. Okay, there is a steel block of 1 kg at room temperature, completely insulated. Okay, and let's suppose there is an aluminum block 1 kg. Okay, at the room temperature, completely insulated, means both the temperatures are same. Okay, here both the temperatures are 25 degrees centigrade, that I'm saying. Okay, so in this case, now if I want to increase the temperature of both by 1 degree centigrade, if I want to increase the temperature of both by 1 degree centigrade, in which case I require more heat, even though the mass is same. But here, as in this case, the fluid was same in both cases, but in this case, the substance is different. In this case, the steel having a different substance, aluminum is a different substance. So obviously, as the substance is different here, then the absorbing capacity or the transition capacity or transmitting capacity will be different. Okay, maybe to increase, ठीक है, अभी हमें exactly नहीं पता है, in future we'll see, in the next lectures we'll see, maybe in case of steel, to increase the 1 degree centigrade temperature, the requirement of heat will be more, and maybe in case of aluminum, the requirement of to increase the 1 degree centigrade temperature will be less, even though the mass is same, size is same. Okay, so the dependency on the supply of heat is completely depend on different scenario. Okay, so means the temperature is completely different thing. Temperature आपका क्या है? एक completely different thing आपके पास में. You can't say or you can't define it. Even though in local language or in local terms you can say yes, the temperature is the potential through which the heat will flow. That's true. There's no problem. But you can't define the temperature based on heat. Temperature is having its own individual quantity, its own identity. ओके, टेम्परेचर की अपनी खुद की एक आइडेंटिटी है, आप उसको किसी और के बेस पर डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते. ओके, सो मींस यहां पर हमें समझना होगा कि हाउ कैन वी डिफाइन द टेम्परेचर. नाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड द टेम्परेचर, लेट मी टेक द फ्यू मोर केसेस हियर. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, देयर इज वन मोर डेफिनेशन दैट इज प्रोवाइडेड फॉर द टेम्परेचर, दैट इज द टेम्परेचर इज द मेजरमेंट और क्राइटेरिया ऑफ डिग्री ऑफ हॉटनेस एंड कोल्डनेस. ओके, मींस it is a criteria of measuring what is hot, what is cold. That can also true. Okay, मैंने कहा कि आप इसको बहुत वे में डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, but we required a firm thing, a firm concept to define the temperature, what is temperature is. So first of all, I can say the criteria of temperature, the criteria of temperature is basically a comparison criteria. Okay, and what is the comparison criteria? The comparison criteria of hot and cold. Let me tell you like this one. Let's suppose if I'm saying this block is having a 25 degree centigrade temperature, and there is one more block here that I'm saying this block is having 80 degree centigrade temperature here. Okay, so if I ask you that is which one is cold and which one is hot, so you simply say that this is cold one and this is hot one. Okay, now if there is one more block here having 0 degree centigrade, so and now if I ask you that is which one is cold, which one is hot, then there is a problem here. So you can say if we are comparing these two, then this is cold, this is hot. Okay, if you are comparing these two, this is cold, this is hot. If you are comparing these two, then this is cold, this is hot. So it's completely a comparison criteria. Means when we are talking about comparison, it means we are actually talking about the thermal state or the thermal equilibrium. Means which one is at higher value and which one as the lower value. So based on this thermal criteria, we are defining which one is at hot state, which one is at cold state. Okay, so hot state और cold state को हम define किसके बेस पे करें? Comparison के बेस पे, thermal property के बेस पे. So we are saying that is temperature is simply a thermal property which define the thermal equilibrium. Okay, I am repeating this one. That is temperature is a thermal property of a material which will define the thermal equilibrium. जो thermal equilibrium को define करेगी. So based on this criteria, based on this comparison criteria, we have the law regarding this one that is defined as zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, that we are defining zeroth law of thermodynamics. And what is zeroth law? So it simply states that suppose if I'm saying there is some body here A, and there is some another body B here, and body A and B are connected to each other and both are in thermal equilibrium. Okay, so I'm saying body A and B are in thermal equilibrium. Now, so body A and B are in thermal equilibrium. Similarly, the body A is also connected to the body C, but body B is not connected to the body C. So as the body A is connected to the body C, obviously in this case you can also say that is body A and body C will be in thermal equilibrium. So as there are three bodies here, obviously here we are comparing the things with each other. Okay, so it's a comparison criteria. So I'm saying body A is in thermal equilibrium with the body B, body A is in the thermal equilibrium with the body C, even though the body B and C are not connected directly here, but due to this one you can directly say that is as this is happening here, अगर ऐसा है आपके पास में, in this case you can say the body A and C will also be in thermal equilibrium. Okay, body A and C will also be in thermal equilibrium. So this is the statement of zeroth law of thermodynamics, and this statement is completely defined what is the temperature. So temperature is what? Temperature is the thermal property of matter which define the thermal equilibrium. Okay, so we are not defining the temperature based on the heat because the temperature having its own identity. ठीक है, टेम्परेचर की अपनी एक आइडेंटिटी है. दैट्स व्हाई देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ zeroth law of thermodynamics, even though the zeroth law come after, okay, come after the first and second law. zeroth law जब आया आपके पास में फर्स्ट लॉ सेकंड लॉ होने के बाद में उनको ध्यान में आया कि वी लेफ्ट A very crucial property of thermodynamics, that is temperature. That's why they drive the zeroth law. तब उन्होंने जाके zeroth law drive किया. So based on that zeroth law, we are simply defining here, that is what is temperature is. So temperature is the thermal property of matter which will define the thermal equilibrium, and we can use the zeroth law to define the temperature here. So this is how we are defining the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, so this is how we are defining the temperature. So I think this point of about the temperature is clear in your mind. Okay, कभी भी temperature और heat को, और सोचा कि आप heat को फिर भी define कर दे based on temperature, but please don't define the temperature based on heat. आपको temperature को heat पे define नहीं करना है, because मैं बार बार बोल रहा हूँ, temperature is having its own identity. Okay, okay. So now we'll talk about the temperature scales. Okay, so basically zeroth law of thermodynamics is the basic of temperature measurement, you can say. So how can we measure the temperature? So to understand this one, let's try to understand how the thermometer is working. So basically, let's suppose if I'm saying this is our thermometer. So this is a glass tube here. Okay. Below this one, there's a bulb here. Glass bulb you can say, or metal bulb you can say. In this bulb, mercury is filled. Okay. This bulb, mercury is filled here. And there is a marking on this glass tube. इस पर आपके पास में markings है. Okay, like this one. I'm not marking at degree centigrade or degree Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm simply saying this one. Now, so mercury is in this bulb here. So let's suppose if we are dipping this bulb in some container, and in the container, let's suppose there is a fluid here whose temperature is high. Okay, so let's suppose I'm saying this is the high temperature here. So to this high temperature, we all know that is, as the heat is going to transfer inside the mercury here from this one. So as we transfer the heat, obviously thermal expansion will take place. Okay, so as the thermal expansion will take place, in that case, the mercury will start to expand here, and mercury start to fill this glass tube here. Let's suppose this mercury reaches up to this point. Okay, so in this case, we can clearly see the length of mercury in the glass tube. And based on this concept here, we marked already the temperature here, and we are simply saying that is this is the temperature here. So here, actually, mercury is thermometric fluid. Okay, in this case, we are saying that is mercury is thermometric fluid. Okay, and the property through which we can visualize or we can see here that how the temperature is varying, that is completely by the volume of mercury, means how the volume of the mercury is going to be expand and contract according to the temperature. So in this case, the volume of mercury is thermometric property. Okay, thermometric property means that property that enable us to read or measure, okay, the temperature. Okay, so in this case, the volume, in this case, how the volume is going to be changed here based on this, the length or height of the mercury is going to be changed in the thermometer is simply defined, that is what is the temperature here. So in this case, the volume of the mercury is the thermometric property. It is not necessary that is always the volume will be the thermometric property. Let's suppose you want to make your own thermometer and you are trying to design thermometer, that is how the length of wire is going to be expand when you are trying to heat up this one, or when you try to put this wire in the hot container or in a, let's suppose, cold container. So when you dip the wire in some cold or hot container, in that case, the length of the wire is going to be changed. And based on this one, you decide to make a scale of temperature. So in that case, the length of the wire becomes the thermometric property. Similarly, the pressure can also be, you can say, you can make the pressure as a thermometric property. Means when you are dipping, let's suppose there is a closed tube here, and on there is a pressure gauge here. Okay, आपने क्या किया, closed tube ली, उसके ऊपर pressure gauge आपके पास में mark किया, and then you are dipping the tube in some hot or cold fluid. So based on this one, within the tube is a gas here. Okay, So due to this, when you are dipping the tube in the hot or cold fluid, in that case, according to this one, the gas is going to be expanded and compressed. So that's why you can clearly see the pressure, okay, on the scale here, on the gauge here. So based on that pressure, you can say that is definitely the temperature of pressure, temperature of the fluid. So means you can make any property that will be the work as a thermometric property. So thermometric property basically that property that will enable us to visualize the temperature scale here. So this is how the thermometer is working basically. So how we can measure the temperature? So basically I show you here that is one of kind of measurement method. But now we want to see what is the basic. Okay, so we will see in two parts. First I'm saying before 1954 कि 1954 से ऐसे कौन से पहले से ऐसे कौन से मेथड से जिस पे आपके पास में बात की गई. So before 1954 they decided there must be two, or there must be, you can say there must be an easily reproducible state of an arbitrarily chosen system. Okay, means let's suppose there's an ice. Okay, there's an ice here. So I don't know what is the temperature here. So I know I can easily reproduce the ice. मैं ice को आराम से बना सकता हूँ. ठीक है, मेरे पास में methods है ice को बनाने के. But I don't have any scale system here. So I simply choose this easily reproducible state. Reproducible मतलब कि जिसको आराम से बनाया जा सकता है, बार बार उसको create किया जा सकता है. So I chosen the ice as a reproducible state, and arbitrarily that I'm providing this temperature. इस temperature को मैंने arbitrarily आपका ऐसे choose कर दिया 0 degree centigrade. Okay, or let's suppose I'm simply saying 0 degree. Let J, a new scale. Okay, इसको मैंने बोल दिया 0 degree J. Okay, then I try to find out another easily reproducible state. So I know the steam point or boiling point of water. Okay, so let I am using boiling point as another easily reproducible state, and let I am providing this value as 50 degree J randomly. Okay, so I provide this ice as 0 degree J, and I am providing this boiling point as 50 degree J. Here J stands for the Jahangir. Okay, मैंने अपने scale बनाने की try की. And let's suppose I am dividing this 0 to 50 degree J in equal, let 50 parts, or let I am saying this is 10 parts only. Okay, and divided this in equally 10 parts, means on the scale first you will see 0, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. Okay, in degrees. That's my scale. Okay, so obviously अब आप बोलोगे सर y0 y50 इनका आपको अपने स्केल मानिए, तो आपने बोला okay, I will choose this one as 150 degree L. Okay, degree is the indicator here, we are simply saying. And I will choose this one as let 250 degree L. Okay, and you are saying that sir I will divide this one in equal 25 parts. Okay, no problem, it's your choice, आप कर सकते हैं. So आपने इसको दो arbitrary state choose की, उसमें आपने एक scaling system डिजाइन कर दिया. Okay, so when I will touch the thermometer, okay, to this ice, I will mark the first point as 0J. Okay, इसको मैं 0J mark कर दिया. And when I will touch the boiling point, I will touch the thermometer to the boiling point, I will mark here that is 50J. Now I have my own scale. Now अगर मैं thermometer को किसी और point पे touch करता हूँ, in that case I will simply mark that is what is the value here. Let suppose if I am touching the thermometer to some another object, let's suppose I am getting this value here, that is 25 degrees J. Okay, so that is my value. So this is how they design the scale system. Okay, so in this one the key point is there must be two easily reproducible state that are arbitrarily chosen of a system. Okay, दो होना चाहिए आपके पास में यहाँ पे. Okay, so means अब basic concept क्या है देखिए. Let's suppose if I'm saying theta is temperature, okay, and x is thermometric property. When I put the x is like, in case of thermometer, we are defining the volume as a thermometric property. Okay, so I'm saying that is theta is the temperature and x is some thermometric property. Okay, so I'm saying that is theta will be the function of x. Okay, theta, temperature will be the function of x. Okay, and this will be linearly proportional to this property. That is thermometric property, that is x here. Okay, so I'm saying that is theta is the function of x and this will be proportional to the x here. So obviously, when I will remove the proportionality sign here, I will get some proportionality constant here that I'm saying this is a here. So I'm getting theta equals to ax. So can we find out the value of a here? Yes, we can easily find out that is a is simply theta over x here. Okay, so हमने ये बात की. So let's suppose this theta x, or simply that I'm saying theta x is unknown temperature that I want to know. Okay, theta is the unknown temperature that I want to know, and x is the respective thermometric property, height or length you can say, or thermometric property value. So first of all, that I'm saying there is an object here whose temperature is theta x, whose thermometric property value is x here. Okay, now the first easily reproducible state is here. I'm saying the respective temperature is that suppose theta 1, okay, and the respective value is x1. Second easily reproducible state is this one. Its temperature is theta 2 and value of thermometric property is x2. So my concern is to measure this one. Okay, so first of all I will touch the thermometer to this point. मैं इस point पर thermometer आपके पास में touch करूँगा. Then I have the value of x here, okay, but I don't know what is the value of theta x here. Then I will touch the thermometer to this point, okay. Then I will touch the thermometer to this point here. फिर मैं उसको touch करने वाला हूँ आपके पास में. So when I will touch this thermometer to this point, I will get the value of theta 1 and x1. That is also known, okay. So after touching these two values here, जैसे मैं आपके पास में दोनों को touch कर लूँगा, in that case we can say that is by these two, पहले मैंने यहाँ पे touch किया, then I'm touching here. By these two, we are getting our value like this one, that is theta x1, or you can say theta 1x divided by theta x equals to x1 by x here. And how I'm getting this value here? Because I know this is a constant here. So if I'm saying there is theta x equals to ax, then I can say for this one also. For this one also I can say this value will be equals to theta 1x by x1. Also, if I'm using this one, so I can say this is theta 2x by x2. Okay. So by using these two, I'm getting this one. Okay. Now, again, I will touch the thermometer to this point. So I will get this value, but this is unknown here. Then I will touch the thermometer to this point. Second easily reproducible state here. Okay. Then I will get theta 2x divided by theta x equals to x2 by x here. Okay. Then I will get this value here. Okay. So I have two equations here. Okay. I have two equations here. This is our equation number 1. This is our equation number 2 here. By using these two equations, I can write that is theta 1x minus, that I am separating this value here, is theta 2x divided by, so I think I will get this value here, that is theta x. This will be equals to x1 minus x2 divided by x here. Okay. Now, what is the unknown value? This is the unknown value. I want to measure the temperature because I know this value of x by the measurement. ये मुझे measurement से पता है. But I want to know the temperature here. So to calculate the temperature, you can say easily. You can say here that is theta x will be simply equals to what? Theta x will be simply equals to, so you can say this value becomes here. So this becomes theta 1x minus theta 2x divided by x1 minus x2 into x. And we have all values. We have this value, we have this value, we have this value, we have this value, we know this value, and we can easily find out the value of temperature of this unknown object. So this is very much simple funda here. बहुत simplest आपके पास में आपके concept use किया गया है. Okay. So I think this one is clear कि हम 1954 से आपके पास में क्या कर रहे हैं. So by using this one, you can calculate the temperature here. So before 1954, we choose two types or two easily reproducible state, that is ice and boiling point of water. Okay. So by choosing this one, there are different scales occurs here. The first scale that we are defining is Celsius scale. Celsius scale. In the Celsius scale, the steam point is considered as 100 degrees centigrade. This is also known as degree centigrade scale. Okay. And ice point is considered as 0 degree centigrade. And these two points, that is steam point and ice point, this is 100 degree centigrade and this is 0 degree centigrade, are equally divided in 100 parts. Are equally divided in 100 parts. या आपके पास में 100 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर दिया गया. सिंपल, मैंने कहा ना आर्बिट्ररी वैल्यू चूज की हुई है आपके पास में. Similarly, when you see the Fahrenheit scale, okay, so this is our degree Celsius scale, and when we see that degree Fahrenheit scale, in that case, अगर हम बात करें इसमें steam point, so steam point is using as 212 degree Fahrenheit and ice point is used as 32 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, तो यहां पे आपके पास कुछ ऐसा चूज किया गया. तो मींस अगर मैं यहीं पे स्केल मार्क करूं आपके पास में, so in this case we are getting the steam point and ice point here. So this is our steam point here. Steam point, so this is 212 degree Fahrenheit. We are getting the ice point here, that is 32 degree Fahrenheit here. And this is divided in, so आप देखते हैं difference is how much? Here the difference is 180 parts. Okay. In this case, this range is divided in equal 180 parts. Equal 180 parts में आपके पास में scale divide की गई. Okay. So if you need a conversion, okay, between these two scales, ki if you want to convert the degree Celsius into Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit into degree Celsius, it's pretty easy. Okay. Similarly, you can form your own scale system here. There is no problem in that case. So let's suppose I want to drive a formula for the conversion here. So what I'm saying, that is degree Fahrenheit is, and I'm saying that A is the proportionality constant. I'm taking the linear relation here. Degree centigrade plus B. Okay. And again, degree Fahrenheit is A in bracket degree centigrade plus B here. Okay. I know that is 0 degree centigrade is equals to 0 degree centigrade is equals to 32 degree Fahrenheit here. So I'm writing here this is 32 A 0 plus B here. So we are getting the value of B is 32. Okay. Now I'm saying that is, I know that is 100 degree centigrade is equals to 212 degree Fahrenheit. So I will put this as 212. Okay, equals to A. This is 100. B is 32. Okay. So in this case we are getting this. So this value we are getting, this is 180 into 100. Okay, and we are getting this is A equals to 180 divided by 100. So we can say this is 9 by 5. Okay. So आपके पास में ये मेरे पास में वैल्यू आ गई 9 by 5 पे. Okay. So let's put the value of A and B here. So we are getting that is degree Fahrenheit is equals to, so A is 9 by 5, 0 degree centigrade, sorry, degree centigrade plus 32. So this is our formula through which we can convert the degree centigrade into Fahrenheit or Fahrenheit into degree centigrade. It's pretty easy. ठीक है, बहुत आसान आपके पास में. Similarly, so if you want to create your own scale, आपको अपनी एक scale आपके इसमें create करनी है. Let's suppose we want to create a degree J scale. Okay, so I want to create a degree J scale. So degree J scale. So I'm saying that is I am choosing the steam point. steam point as, let's suppose if I'm saying this is 250 degrees centigrade, so degree J here, and let I am choosing the ice point as 100 degree J. So obviously I'm dividing this scale in equal 150 parts. Okay, it's my own scale. ये मेरी खुद की scale आपके सामने मैंने तैयार कर दिया. I am considering the ice point as 100 degree J. I am choosing the steam point as 250 degree J, and that's why I'm saying this is, I am dividing this one equal 150 part. Now I want to convert the degree J scale into degree centigrade scale. मुझे convert करना आपके पास में. So we'll use the similar method or similar technique here. So let me do this one for you. So it's pretty easy. Before 1954, this was the method. That is, you can create your own scale. There is no problem in that case. But as the degree centigrade scale was quite easy, the comparison of the parts are quite equal or quite easy. That's why this scale is very much famous. So I want to convert the degree J into degree centigrade. So I'm using, this is A, degree centigrade. Okay, I'm again using 0 here. So this is, I'm saying degree centigrade plus B here. Similarly, okay, so I know that is ice point. So ice point is 0 here for degree centigrade. Respective value is 100 here. So I'm saying this is 100 here. So I'm getting the value of B is 100 here. Okay. Then I'm saying for respect to this value is 250. Then this is A, this value is 100 here. B is also 100 here. Okay, so I'm getting that is, this value is become 150 equals to A into 100 here. Okay, so I'm getting A is 150 divided by 100 here. So we are getting this is 3 by 2. Okay, we are getting this is 3 by 2. So I will write this scale as 0 J equals to A is 3 by 2 degree centigrade plus this value of B is 100. And this is how my own scale will work. And I can easily convert the system. So this is how they use these methods to measure the temperature before 1954. Okay. अब problem क्या है? So the problem was that is steam point and ice point are basically quite fluctuating. Okay, बहुत ज़्यादा fluctuate करते हैं with pressure. Means if you change the pressure, obviously we know that is 0 degree centigrade is the temperature for the ice when the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, and 100 degree centigrade is the boiling point for the water when the pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, now let's suppose from place to place, let's suppose someone is in the USA and someone in the India, and obviously the pressure can vary from India and USA. So as the pressure can vary, obviously the ice point and steam point will be different in these two countries. So the scale will differ. Okay, अब हो सकता है कि आपके पास में वहां पे वैल्यू कुछ और शो कर रहा हो, यहाँ पे वैल्यू कुछ और शो कर रहा हो. So this is not the standard method, okay, of calculating or measuring some property here. Because if you want to measure some property, in that case this property must have the unique value. So after 1954, they realized this thing, that is, this scale is okay, but this scale is quite problematic, and these property or these two easily reproducible state of arbitrarily chosen system are quite fluctuating, okay, or quite sensitive with the pressure, and that's why the scale after 1954 is going to change. Okay, so I think यहाँ तक ये clear आपको होना चाहिए कि हमने आपके पास 1954 से आपके पास में हमने कैसे इसको डील किया. Okay, so the problem was that is pressure is too much sensitive with the ice point and steam point. That's why we have decided that is we need a point that is not sensitive with the pressure. Okay, and that point must be unique point. So that's why after 1954 there was a new scale system. So before going to that new scale system, we have to understand one more thing here. So let's suppose if we are plotting a graph here, and this graph is between the temperature and pressure. Okay. So let's suppose we are considering some gas A. okay, obviously in that case we are using the ideal gas equation, that is PV equals to mRT. What is the ideal gas equation? We will understand in the next lectures. Okay, so we are using the PV equals to mRT, and from here we can say that there is a pressure and temperature are directly proportional to each other. So if we are taking some gas, okay, and if we decrease the temperature of that gas, so let's suppose if we are decreasing the temperature of that gas here like this one. So this is our gas A. Let's suppose this is our gas A here. So from here, the temperature was this much and the respective pressure was this much. So as we continuously going to decrease the temperature of this one, the pressure is also going to decrease, because here the pressure is directly proportional to the temperature. So you can clearly see as the temperature is going to be decreased, the pressure is also going to be decreased. But after reaching one particular point, we can't further use this ideal gas equation, because as we are decreasing the temperature, the gas start to liquefy. Okay, so when the gas becomes liquid, then you can't use the gas equation for a liquid. So after this particular point, okay, we can't use this equation. Okay, now that we are taking, so in this case, we are taking some another gas here. So let's suppose I am taking this gas B here. Okay, I'm taking this gas B here like this one. Okay, just a minute. I'm taking this gas B here. Like so. This is the gas B. Okay. Similar thing will happen for this gas. So if we take the so many gases here, and if we do the same process, means we are decreasing the temperature, so respective pressure is going to decrease. So after one particular point, the gas become liquefied and we can't use this equation. But obviously, we are not able to use this equation, but mathematics allow us to do some incredible things here. Like if I extend this line here, backside here, also this line here. Okay, so let me correct this one. Obviously, I need the slope here, so that is the problem. Okay, so there is, let me redraw this one, and let me, there's one more line here, that I'm taking one more line here, and they are, let's suppose we are taking the gas C and D here, like this one. This is the gas C. Let's suppose this is gas D here, gas C here, gas D here. Okay, so if we increase these lines backward, so all the lines are going to meet at a particular point here. Okay, this is, we are doing mathematically. We are not doing experimentally, because we can't do this on experiment, because after this point we can't use this law. But mathematically we can do this one. So when we are drawing this line backward, mathematically like this one, all the lines are going to be intersect at a point here. And at this point, the pressure becomes 0 here. But you can see here, the pressure becomes 0 here, but we are getting the value of temperature here, that is negative. So means, obviously here I am taking this temperature in 0 degree centigrade. That is on degree centigrade, on 0 degree centigrade. I am taking this temperature in degree centigrade. This value is 0 degree centigrade here. So we are getting some negative temperature. So if we measure this one, we'll get this value is minus 273.15 degree centigrade here. Okay, and this is how the Kelvin scale, okay, Lord Kelvin, by Lord Kelvin, this is how we get this temperature. Okay, so this, based on this temperature, Lord Kelvin suggested a scale here. Okay, that we are defining the Kelvin scale, or sometimes this is also defined as degree Kelvin scale. But after some time, the degree was dropped and we are only using the Kelvin system here. So we are getting a temperature here. Beyond this point, okay, obviously the pressure is absolute 0 here. There is no sense. Okay, so we are getting a temperature, okay, where in this case we are defining the temperatures here when the pressure will becomes 0. Okay, and this temperature is defined as absolute 0 temperature. Okay, obviously in this case the value is minus 273.15 in degree centigrade. Okay, but here we are defining our new scaling system that start from the 0 Kelvin. This we are defining, this is 0 Kelvin. Okay, it means on the degree centigrade scale, if this value is the steam point, that is our 100 degree centigrade, and this value is our 0 degree centigrade, then we are going beyond this one and mathematically we are reaching a value here 273.15, and this value is negative in degree centigrade. So this is our degree centigrade scale. On degree Kelvin or Kelvin scale, okay, in this case we are defining our scale start from here, and this is our 0 Kelvin, and beyond this one we are getting this value here. So means if I define this value here, अगर मुझे इस value को define करना है, so based on this value will be what? This value will be 273.15 Kelvin. This value will be 373.15 Kelvin. Okay, so similarly, simply we are defining this, the values like this one. So we started a new scale based on this one. Now, so as I told you, that is the pressure is too much sensitive with the ice point and steam point. So we get a new point that is defined as triple point of water. Okay, we are defining triple point of water. This is that point of water. At this point, all three phases of water, that is ice, water and vapor, exist. Okay, all three phases of water exist at this point, and for this point the temperature is 0.01 degrees centigrade, and this is very unique point. Means if you little bit deflect the temperature from this point, then either you will only get the water, or you will get the ice, or you will get the vapor. Means this is very much unique point, and this is not sensitive with the pressure because this is very much unique value. Okay, ये अपने आप में क्या है, ये अपने आप में एक बहुत ही यूनिक वैल्यू है. ओके, आप वर्ल्ड में कहीं चले जाइए, किसी भी एल्टीट्यूड पे चले जाइए, आपको वही पर्टिकुलर प्रेशर और यही पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर की वैल्यू चाहिए. ऑन दैट वन द ऑल थ्री फेजेस ऑफ द वाटर कैन एग्जिस्ट. इवन deflecting or changing the value of temperature or pressure, you will not get the all three phases. So this is a very unique point. Okay, so we are defining triple point of water is 0.01 degree centigrade. So as 0 degree centigrade is defined as 273.15 Kelvin, then we can say this value will be equals to 273.16 Kelvin. Okay, so we are defining this is 273.16 Kelvin. Now, before 1954, we had 2 points, steam point, ice point. But after 1954, we are only getting one standard point for the thermometry, that is triple point of water, that is 273.16 Kelvin. 1954 के बाद में हमारे पास जो स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू है थर्मोमेट्री के लिए, टेम्परेचर मेजरमेंट सिस्टम के लिए आपके पास में, दैट इज 273.16 Kelvin. That is the triple point of water. This is the unique value, and based on this one we are doing our calculation. Means like that if I'm saying theta t is that triple point of water, it's the temperature, and xt is what? This is the thermometric property. Again you will do the same thing. Means what? We will say theta t is directly proportional to xt. Then we'll get that is theta t is a times xt. Then we'll get our value of a is theta t divided by xt. Okay, and I think we know the value of theta t here. Theta t is what? Theta t of what is 273.16 Kelvin here. Okay, so we are defining this value of theta t. So I can write a is 273.16 divided by xt. This is how we are getting the value of A. We also know the xt because this is thermometric property. It can be length, volume. We can easily measure this one. So we also know this value. Now, if you want to measure some unknown temperature theta, respective which you are getting a thermometric property x. In that case, you can put the value of A here, that is 273.16 divided by this value is xt into x here. Okay. So we know the value of x and xt by the measurement, okay, like length, volume, and etc. here. And we know this value here, and we can easily find out the value of theta here. And based on this scaling system, we can easily find out this value here. Okay, so means after 1954, we decided this is our scaling system. But as I told you, that is degree centigrade scale here, it's having 100 part. Okay, it's having 100 parts between 100 and 0. 100 parts. So if somebody asks what is or how much is 1 degree centigrade? So if I want to define the 1 degree centigrade, I can say that is 1 degree centigrade is simply 1 by 100th part of steam point. Okay, 1 by 100th part of steam point. What is the steam point of water? Steam point of water. Of water. What is the steam point of water? So by degree centigrade, we know this value is 100. So 100 by 100, we can define the 1 degree centigrade. So we have two values here, 0 and 100. That's how we define the 100 part. But in the Kelvin scale system, in the Kelvin, we are simply saying there's only one point, that is the triple point of water. That is 273.16 Kelvin. So if someone asks how much is 1 Kelvin, if someone asks how much is 1 Kelvin, then how can we define the 1 Kelvin when we are only having a 1 point or 1 standard point for the thermometry? So based on this one, we define the 1 Kelvin, and it's very unique value here. And you have to remember this value is, that is 1 Kelvin will be equals to 1 by 273.16 part of triple point of water. This is how we will define the 1 Kelvin. Okay, ये आपको रखना है. कई बार इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है. So you can say there is 1 Kelvin is simply 273.16, not 15. Okay, 273.15 is what? It's absolute zero. Okay, 1 Kelvin is 273.16 part of triple point of water. That's how we are defining the Kelvin. Okay, so I think we cover up in this lecture, that is what is the temperature and how the temperature scales are working. So ये आपके पास जो lecture था हमारे पास में काफी important है, because this is the base of thermodynamics. Or in this lecture we discuss about that is how we can define the temperature, how can we use the scale system, and what kind of scale system that we used before 1954, and what types of scaling system we are using after the 1954. Okay, so I think this जो यह आपके पास में अभी तक जो भी डिस्कस हुआ है, that is clear in your mind. Okay.